Hey, welcome back everybody to another Friday live stream. Hopefully you guys can hear me all right and everything, so we'll be good to go there. But I'm excited to get started on a brand new image. We're going to be starting out fresh today with a new image. It's actually pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looks pretty cool. Probably go for more of like a Pixar-y kind of vibe with it is what I'm thinking here. I'll show you this in a second as we're just getting started here. But how was your guys' weeks? How was your week? What you guys got plans for the weekend? You know, all that. I had a pretty busy week actually. And this is going to be a fun little relaxer from that before the weekend, a nice little break. So let's go ahead and take a look at the image here. We're going to be starting out. We're going to work on this image here. It's like a tunnel scene, you know, with a guy and a girl looking at each other romantically. I'm thinking kind of like some Pixar vibes here. I really like the lighting in this. I really like the setup. I think this is a pretty simple scene that we can practice a lot of different types of techniques on, and I think it'll be a lot of fun to do. I did enable, oh, you know what? Maybe they're not on here. I know I enabled, like, they have this experimental closed captions things on OBS, and I was like, let's try that. But I don't see them coming through on YouTube, so it might not work. Oh, football season, let's go. Yes. You know, I've considered getting the YouTube live things, that way I can actually watch YouTube, live stream the sports on YouTube, but I haven't done that, so let's go ahead and jump into the scene here. We'll get started. As I said, it's a pretty simple scene. So I did add the image in the background of our shot here, and that'll allow us to kind of line everything up a little bit easier. Let's go ahead and do that. And yeah, just gonna rotate the camera here. Just kind of line everything up. One of these days I am going to get F-Spy, and I'm going to get F-Spy, and it's going to be super great because I'm actually going to be able to just do everything in like 3 clicks. Sunday Ticket. Well, no, I wasn't thinking about Sunday Ticket. So YouTube has their own like kind of like live streaming thing or sports thing where you can actually watch all sports. It's like $60 a month or something like that. It's like super worth. If you know, it's like one of the best deals out there. I mean, I don't know. I haven't done enough research to say it's the best deal out there, but it certainly is. I certainly think it's a pretty good deal. Although I'm a YouTube kind of guy, I like YouTube Premium and stuff like that, and I know that not everybody does that, but for me, it works. All right, let's go ahead and scale that up. Probably about there. Just scale that outwards. Just kind of blocking out the scene here, and you know, as per usual. And from here we can do all of our texturing and stuff later. So kind of just, since it's a very uniform shot, I'm just kind of like blocking it out and getting it to line up properly. So oh yeah, YouTube Premium definitely worth. I just canceled it because I had it on my work account, like my work like email account or whatever. Because I have 2 YouTube accounts. There's this one and then my actual work email address. And I canceled it on my work email address one because I was like, you know, probably shouldn't have it on my work email address, especially since I'm like now, it wasn't a problem before, but now that I'm like doing all of this YouTube content, it's like I'm constantly swapping back and forth between my work account and my personal. So I'm just kind of merging the two now, and I'm only going to do things on my personal. Okay, that kind of gives us a good rough outline for our entire enclosure here. I think it's like this probably can just go forever. You know, I'm probably gonna have it like there is a lot of like depth of field for this as well, so it doesn't really matter all that much. I think here at the edge of the hallway, I'm going to just have it like rotate outwards. So if I grab it on the y-axis here, I could probably just follow this kind of path. I'm not too worried about it being low poly right now because again, we're gonna make everything a little bit higher res later. I'm gonna change this back to median origin. It's driving me crazy. Just manually moving around things anyways. But yeah, YouTube Premium, no ads. It's like it's so hard to go back to having like the ads on your YouTube videos. Just drives me crazy. And you know what's funny is it's not even as bad as, I mean, it could be. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna select the camera here. Oh, I need to mute that there. Okay. I'm going to select the camera here, and the thing I need to do on it is just extend the end clipping. Doesn't have to be that far. I'm making it 10,000 because it's always what I do. But you know, as it doesn't have to be that big. As you can see, I mean, we're already pretty much blocked the whole scene. This is a pretty easy scene to do, though, as far as like the rough shape of it is concerned. We can spend a lot of time, though, on the texturing and the lighting and getting that to be exactly what we need it to be. So I'm going to just kind of drop in my cursor at this point right here. I'm going to add in a circle. So we'll just work with the circle for right now. Let me scale that guy down. Alright. I think if we just go to vertex mode, I'm going to hide this for right now, and we can just model this light bulb on our own. You know, let's give it a bit of a rim. There we go. And then, yeah. I'm gonna just fill that. Let's hide that. I did duplicate this edge right here, just so that way I can kind of, oh, not yet. I'm just gonna bring this straight down. I'm just eyeballing it at this point, like, obviously not matching because it's not in the correct location, but so let's just some crazy news this week though for football though, all the football fans out there. Absolutely nuts what's going on. I feel like every like once a week I'm hearing that there's somebody else in like the injured reserves, is that what they call it? Let's grab this. We're just gonna scale this up, but more on the z-axis here. Bring that down. Now the reason why I made these separate is because I'm gonna be doing it in separate materials anyways, so it's technically separate like stuff. It just makes it easier. Press Alt-H now. I can grab this. Let's go ahead and scale it up firstly, and then let's rotate this. So is it turf is more dangerous than real grass? I guess I would have thought it would be the other way around, honestly. Like, I guess it kind of makes sense because grass can tear away, but, you know, turf doesn't. I guess that makes sense. Let's array this now here, and then let's set this to like 2. I'm going to be extending this pretty far. Let's just match it about that. So are they refusing because they don't want to pay the water bill, or is it like actually just like, is there a good reason behind it? Okay, I don't know what's going on here. These are, oh, I see what's going on. Okay. It's a me problem as far as this is concerned. I think actually one of the easier ways to do this is for our rotation. Let's set this to 0 because we don't want it rotating on the x-axis. And then our z-axis here, let's also set that to 0. Should be a little bit better, and now it'll be more consistent. Perfect. And that'll go all the way down the tunnel with no problems. Let's go ahead and just extend that array all the way down. And we're only having lights on the one side of the tunnel, but not on the other. Should make it a little, give us some more dynamic lighting. Some of the teams use turf, have open stadiums, and get lots of snow. It's, oh, okay. Gotcha. That does make sense. I mean, I feel like because the Steelers stadium, because I watch a lot of their games, they have real grass, and I feel like it's always torn up, unless they've changed it lately. I don't admittedly watch a lot of football, so it's possible that they have updated it since then. But okay, let's select some of these faces. This is going to be, as well as this, is going to be brick. So let's select that, and we'll make it its own object. Same as on this side. Press Y, and that just makes it its own object. So that way I could select specifically what I need. Oh, and then the only other thing is down here. Technically, I should have said, all right, let's move that back. If I select everything now, yeah, there we go. I'm gonna say, if I select just this face here, I think, can I? Yeah, I can select Alt and then Shift Alt, Shift Alt. There we go. Maybe press Y on that side. Let's select this face here. Might need to go something like that. And then, honestly, I'm gonna center that. Shift Alt. Oh, nope. Shift Alt. I don't know why it's wanting to go around. I just want to select the... There's got to be a trick to this. I swear it's like... Just want to select... Okay, fine. I'm wasting so much time. I'm just going to shift select this stuff. If anybody knows, let me know why I can't do that. I should just be able to press like Alt and it selects the ring there. Okay, so now that those are their own separate kind of like faces there, that'll make it a little bit easier. Let's just call this whole thing tunnel. I'm gonna start adding collections in here to keep things organized rather than it being much later and me having a bunch of issues. So I'll create like a camera collection. Let's create a new collection called FX. We'll drop in lights for that right now. I'm pretty sure we're going to delete this light, but if we ever need it, we can actually just enable it pretty easily. And then I'm going to create another one called layout, and that's going to be where our tunnel is going to go. This is just for blocking purposes again. So, oh, and then our circle here, let's rename this to, I don't know, lights. Put that under layout as well. Okay. Oh, great. We're actually flying, guys. We're about like 20 minutes in and we're already done, right? Alright, this is pretty finished, right? Okay. Let's see. Next up, I'm going to create our people. So let's go ahead and just drop in our cursor at that point. I have a plugin, a nice little plugin, called HumeGen. Oh, is it not? Oh, it is. Okay, great. I'll do the dude first. You know, we actually might, since this is a pretty simple scene, and I think we're going to cover most of it with textures. I think I'll have a little more time to finesse the characters, maybe do some hair particles and things like that. So, I think that should be pretty fun to do. Add you in. Oh, hello. Okay, I'm gonna take this and this. Can we scale you down on the 3D cursor, please? Okay, I'm gonna do that again, but this time select everything. I need the lights to move down with it. So we're going to scale everything down until the dude is about the height that we need him to be. You could also, before we ever did any of the modeling, add a dude in there, and then that way everything would have been correct from the first place. But as far as size and scale is concerned, but for us, yeah, it should be work fine. Okay, I'm going to let's look only at our HumeGen. I want to customize our dude since we have time to do so. Hit the save button. Save, everybody! Hit that save button. The wonders it brings. I'm going to switch over to cycles right now. Although, for the most part, we're just going to probably just do random here. I'm going to turn my camera on as well, though. I want to be able to kind of get an idea. Let's, I'm going to first just find like a nice shape to a starting shape. Dude's not anorexic, okay. I think that should work. And then face. Thinking. This takes out, like, you know, all the work, guys. I just have to hit the random button and it just gives me results. Kind of like that, not gonna lie. I like his nose. And then, hair. Do I get to do that yet? For the eyes, we're not gonna see his eyes, so I'm not too worried about it. But for his hair, though, let's get. We can use a preset, and then I'm going to customize it afterwards. So, kind of want to match his hairstyle as much as possible. So let's do. I don't know why it's giving me the girl haircuts, because they have guy haircuts and girl haircuts, and it's just showing me all the girl haircuts right now. Yeah. I think this might be the best, and then I could just curl it and mess around with it a little more. It's also very much a feminine haircut. I don't know why it did that for the male character. That's super strange. But we'll make do. Go to particle edit mode here. Actually, I think before we do that, if we actually go to the particles, will allow us to. Not really. Okay, well, we can definitely do that here in the particle edit mode. Kind of just screw with this a little bit. Add more of a puff to the hair. I think we're coming over to the side as well because he more than likely combed it. I'm actually not a fan of this song, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's because like the first stream that I was doing, it played like so many times. I have since added a lot of music to my library, so I don't have the same songs playing over again. Alright, just gonna comb the back down a little more, less poofy on the back. I can puff out like the top front part. Okay, how does that look? Terrible. Awesome. Perfect. Then we know we're going in the right direction here. Actually, I'm not overwhelmed by it. With how great it looks, but you know, I can use some work here. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Just trying to make it a little more sloppy. This kid has a very sloppy hairstyle, so. Also not a groomer, so you know, take what you can get, right? Okay, I'm gonna have a little tough stick up. I'm gonna puff out the sides a little more than what we currently have. We can use the puff tool for that also. I'm just gonna puff everything a little bit. Probably comb down the top there that I just puffed. Right there. Much better. I mean, they have presets of hairstyles. They're not like auto-generated. It's like presets, and then I'm basically taking the preset and then moving in the direction that I kind of want it. So like I'm kind of making it a little more wavy and curly than what it already is. The hair that's in here, I can actually go into our children setting for the hair and change the, they call it a kink, okay? And I can make it a little more curly. And this can make these second hairs, because for every hair it'll have second hairs that are kind of moving with it, and it'll make it more frizzy. So what I just did was add that curl in there rather than nothing. And the nothing is very straight, but since he has like this kind of like wildish hair, I can make the curl in there and then change the amplitude to be whatever I need it to be. Which honestly, the amplitude's probably fine there. I'm just going to change the frequency a little bit to kind of get the effect that we're going for here. Give it more of like a wild, kind of like unkept hair. Oh, that looks really good. See? I think a lot of the hair is just playing with it to get it to the area that you need it. Probably going to trim this up a little bit. I think slightly controlling the flatness might help as well. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to make some of the front hairs that are coming on the front side here a little bit longer. Guys tend to keep their like front hairs the longest out of all of their hair, so I don't know, guys. I'm making this up as I'm going along. There's like you can go to beauty school for this if you want. I'm not beauty school rep here, okay? So, or not a rep, but a teacher. I haven't done this crap, so I'm just talking about personal experience. Okay, let's comb this a little bit more. It's flying off the rails a little bit. Kind of fix that. There we go. I think that should work. This will be a nice like front hair. And we got coming down and kind of off to the side. Kind of just imagine like how like bouncy hair is, and then like how it folds in like a way. Like my hair is really flat right now, but like it kind of can have like a bit of like a, depending on how much product is in your hair, it can have a bit of what's that called? It has a certain stiffness to it, and then it has a fall off point to it. So kind of just trying to match that as you're going. Yeah, as you can see, there we go. There's the longer hairs. I'm almost getting more like anime vibes with this, honestly. Although now we can try to bring those in, because I think they're just sticking out a little bit too much, but give us the ability to have it fall in a little bit more. I like how it's stiff at the very beginning part, but it just needs to come back towards the skin on the ending bit. So I think that'll work. Let's go back into our object mode here. Definitely. All right, yeah. And this gives us that kind of like same hairstyle that we had with the inside of the photo. We can go in. I'm gonna probably customize a lot of the skin shading later. Inside of this plugin, it actually adds its own skin shading into it. But you know, depending on how our scene is, I may want to customize that later. There is no facial hair, and let's see the hair material. Just look at what we got. I mean, I don't have lighting in this scene, so it's gonna be a little hard to tell what's going on here, but I add in a sun, we'll have lighting, right? Let's do a sun, we'll drop that into our effects, and then make our sun visible. Actually, even better. I'm gonna delete that. Let's go to, I have a link in the description. It goes to Polyhaven textures, but under Polyhaven, they have, if you just go to polyhaven.com, I believe they have free HDRIs. Yes, they do. I'm just gonna grab one, and that way I have like some nice looking lighting to work with as I'm working on his shader. So I'm probably gonna match the lighting of our eventual scene, which is like kind of like that tunnel indoor lighting effect. So if we just do indoor here, oh, that's almost too dark, I think. I want a tunnel. Do you guys have a tunnel, please? Please, tunnel? Nope. These are a lot of great HDRIs. This is a really good resource for finding good HDRIs for any projects that you guys have. I'm gonna do that one that was a little dark, and then I can brighten it. It's got like a fireplace. That's cool. It's generally the right color. Like I'm gonna save that into HDRIs. I'm just downloading 4K. If we were using this for actual production, you might want to actually get like up to 16K or 32K, but not for this particular project. Environmental texture, hit open. And under our HDRI folder, I can just load that in now. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. I'm going to also go into film just so this is less distracting, and then I'm going to turn on transparent. So that way I'm only looking at the guy And this will actually speed up your render times as well, because it's only going to be rendering out the material it's rendering, which is this guy. Let's select this guy again. I have to go into particle edit. And let's see, do I have, it's just the hair, right? I almost need to cut like that. So it's like having this weird glitching effect that's happening here. I'm not a fan, okay? Go to particle edit. I think if I go to view settings, I can view my children. Children is the name of the particle, okay? Just want to clarify. There's a way to be able to edit the children particle effects. So if I enable children here inside of the viewport settings, it'll allow me to customize that a little bit better. And the path sets are set to 5, I think, right? And there's where we're having our problem. Oh. These particles up here are the only ones that we can really adjust. I think if we do back to object mode, this is very problematic. Just kind of like trimming around the ear as much as possible. See what we got going on here. I think if we edit that down, just view the children again. Okay, much better. And now to fix this wonky kind of thing that's going on here, I'm going to increase the length of oops, I don't want to puff those. I want to increase the length of the top ones up here, not adding more. We will not add length. There we go. Let's just do that. And let's comb that in. Just kind of make my brush a little bit larger. Just kind of bringing that in. Now that's going to help fill our area that we were having issues with. While not growing the hairs through the ear. It's like one of those really annoying things. Sometimes I wish that you could edit the hair, the children hairs yourself manually, make everything a little bit easier. And honestly, there might even be a way. I just don't currently know how to do that. All right, let's bring that back in. Bring that back in as well. Alright, and that should work. Oh, I got that issue now. Enable children here now. I'm just going to move that up above the ear. Okay, awesome. There, I actually really like this hairstyle. It matches our reference photo. I'm going to go back into our human gen settings now. We're going to finish the creation stage because we have to create the clothing. Now, there is a plugin that I eventually want to get that I don't currently have. Maybe one day, guys. But it's a clothing plugin. Right now I'm stuck with the presets that we have. They're not bad presets, it's just they're not exactly what I want. So I'm going to add, let's see, let's do this one. I'm going to view what we got here. And then I'm gonna have to edit it, because here's the thing. This plugin, while it does a great job of just giving you, generated like stuff that it has in its library, it looks not super great in my opinion. It matches the body style too closely, and it doesn't look natural. So we're gonna have to edit that, but not to fear. That's kind of like what we're trying to do here. So I'm going to extend the bottoms of the pants as well. So I'm going to select a shirt here. Now let's just go into sculpt mode. And inside of sculpt mode, we can use our grab tool and then just kind of like start fixing the way this jacket's falling. Just kind of sculpt it to where we need it to be. And give him less of a back. Less of a butt, actually. Kind of just bring it in a little bit, make it less puffy. Gotta be both less puffy and less form-fitting. So it's like that's the problem I have with this plugin, is that it just makes everything so form-fitting, but also makes it very puffy in the same time. It's like certain parts are extremely puffy, and then other parts are just follow the leg all the way down. Like if you look at his thighs, actually the reason why I picked this particular jacket is that it doesn't follow his calves so much. I find that most of the time it's like it just copies the calves position. So yeah, okay, let's bring that there, just kind of getting it in the exact pose we want it. We can always edit this later, because once we move the armature, it might even screw with it a little more, so it's okay. We can always adjust things later. I just kind of want the overall right now feel of it to match what I want. Just gonna kind of bring everything down, give them a different cut of pants. Just puff that out a little bit more. Let's get this to follow down a little bit, and then on the back side, yeah, we'll match that. I have to watch for clipping later because I am doing a lot of sculpting here, so also gonna fix kind of like these crazy cheekbones we gave him. Should have fixed it in the actual plugin part, but it's fine. I'm just gonna kind of smooth things out a little bit, and then I can use the grab tool here to kind of just pull out the other parts of the cheek. I guess in a way make him more fat. Is that what we're kind of doing here? Go back to sculpt mode again. Alright, that's good for me. I'm gonna hit the save button, and then let's just check out what we got here in rendered view. Our hair, we have to hit the eyeball on this plugin in order for it to be enabled more than just rendered view. I think that's really good. I like it. I'm probably going to make his... Let's do this. We're gonna go back into the plugin here, and if we go to... Actually, if we go to the creation phase, what does happen? I think we should be fine, but I want to go to turn on subsurface scattering. And his skin settings. Usually they have an age preset, but I don't know where that is. You can actually change how old someone is. Alright, we should be good. I'm going to re-enable the hair here. Let's look at this again. Now we turned on subsurface scattering, which I'm actually going to probably boost the amount of subsurface scattering on him. Because I tend to personally like a little bit more of a fleshy feel. So it's 0.015. I don't know if I should do this here. No, definitely not. But I might go into the actual shader settings of this and then adjust that here momentarily. Okay, gotcha. Let's turn that back on and let's just edit the pose on this guy. So we're just gonna rotate him 90 degrees and kind of just give him more of a natural pose. Feet don't have to be so far apart, dude. You know, like. Kind of just rotate his whole foot, I guess. Think, wow, no. Without the girl here, it's going to be a little more difficult to actually get the pose to be what we want it to be. The photo. So he's got his arms just to his side completely, right? Let's just do that for right now. What am I doing here? Oh, right, medium point. Okay. What is a natural, just like your arms on the side of your body? Like, I think something like that should be good. Let's do the same thing for the that side. There we go. I like it. I like that. I think this foot is actually just rotated up too high. It's got that kind of. Although I will say this, I almost want this foot to be further back than this foot for the sake of the photo. Gotta pose yourself, Romeo. Just a little further back, and I think this one as well will just drop you back. Okay. Now we got Steven here done. Let's go ahead and I'm just going to create a new collection called Steven. Steven. I don't know. We're just going to go with Steven. Drop Steven in there, and then I'm just going to Oh, I should probably grab all of his clothes and put in the Steven category as well. Hide Steven for now. We'll come back to him later to do some editing. But now let's actually, we're just going to put the cursor over here. She's got more of a walking pose. So we're going to add in a new human gen. I'm going to deselect Steven. And we're going to select female now. And what does she look like? Just select her. Generate new human. And yeah, let's go to front view here. I'm gonna hide my... Can I hide my camera? No, I can't. Kinda need that. Let's do random for the body style. That's fine. Let's go to the face. Random. What are we going for? This is difficult modeling here, guys. Why is it making her nose so skinny? Think it's funny because it's like these ears look just so much like elf ears. And I don't know if it's just because I just binged watched the entire Witcher latest season, or what. Okay, that should be good. The skin, we're going to turn subsurface scattering on, of course. And let's see. I'm not going to disable the underwear button. I know all of you guys want me to do that, but that's just not happening today, okay? Although I do actually technically have this this live stream set up as not for children. So give her a little bit lighter eyes, I think. Hair color or hair style. Again, we're probably gonna customize this. I don't know, is it where we at here? Lee? How many girls are named Lee? Okay, Lee. So she's got like a bit of a bun on the back of her head. It's like a bun, but like also with hair, like just outside of the bun, which isn't necessarily in a preset here. So we may have to do a little bit of customization to get what we need. That's not too difficult. So I'm going to select the bun preset, and then if we go to our hair particles here, you can see bun. I'm also going to select this wavy bob bangs. It's got kind of that going on. And now if I go... Oh, it gets rid of it completely. I thought it kept both presets. Never mind. So what we can do is use bun bangs. Bun bangs! And we can edit and customize this to our heart's delight, of course. So we will do that. Again, she's got more of a messy hairstyle, so let's do the bangs. We select our children and then go to kink, we could select curl, and then I think 0.015 worked really great last time. You can kind of see what that's doing here if I select nothing and then back to curl. Kind of just adjust that. Let's change the frequency as well. We may also want let's keep that like that. I'm gonna keep 0.015. And we're gonna keep the shape a little bit higher, or is it if we set this to 0? I think 0.01 works nicely. I just need more of that. I do have bangs selected here, so if I go into our particle edit mode, I'm going to be adding in some more hair particles, primarily here. It's a lot of hair particles, so let's just... Why? Oh, because it's got count of 10. I'm gonna work with these guys right now. So let's select all of this and we're just going to comb it down. And since she is a woman, I have to do a little bit better of a job with the hair than I did with the man. Okay. See, that works pretty well. I'm probably going to have it go back as well. If I do select the, let's go out of particle edit mode here. I'm going to select our camera and then move the image. Since we're not using it for exact precision anymore, I just need to move that so I can see it a little bit better as I'm working on this. It's like kind of like a reference. There may be too much of a curl going on to the hair, and we can edit that. And actually, I'm going to fix the nose on her as well. I think it's like an upper nose, or is that the nostril trim flare location? That's fine. Let's do bridge height. I'm gonna bring that in. Going for more of a cartoony look on her. Adjust the length a little bit. Perfect. Now we're going to go back into our hair now and maybe make it a little less curly. Do that by going to 0.005, even less, 0.01. I may need to cut some of these hairs. Should do that pretty simply. Just kind of bringing it down. I had too many in there before, so just simplify it. We are viewing children here, so let's go back into our comb settings. What did I do? Why is it hiding all the children? There we go. Okay, and now we go to 2.01. Okay, that's much better. Much, much better. Let's go back into our particle edit mode. I'm going to hit the add button, but this time instead of count, let's just change that to 1 instead of 10. You know, and that right there should be good. I do think we can actually fix this as well, just increasing the length a little bit. Let's comb this down, going kind of past her ear. I could trim not the length now on this particular one because I want to bring that back, and then grow this. There we go. Kind of bring in that hair just so it hugs a little bit better. Kind of want to actually have this bend this way so it doesn't feel like so artificial. Let's bring the front part of this forward a little bit. I'm going to increase the length on this bit here, and then that way we can actually comb it back as well. We're not going to really see the other side of the hair, so I'm not concerned too much about the other side, but let's just cover the front bit just so we don't painting ourselves into a corner later. Bring that back. Something like that could be really nice. Just puff out the front of this as well. And then kind of let this fall a little bit better. Bringing it to the side, out of her eyes. Bring that in as well. That's good. Now, what this isn't counting for is any flyweight here. So this hair is a little perfect, a little too perfect, I should say. So let's go ahead and fix that. Let's say up at the top here. So let's do object mode. We have, oh no, they do have flyaway hairs. Where are these guys at? We need more of them. I'm gonna particle edit. Okay, these are the flyaways. Let's, they've got 10 in here. I'm thinking we can actually just make them curlier. It's maybe a bit much. I'll need to see what I'm doing. So we'll go back into here. Go to object mode. 0.01. Do like that compared to before. It's a little bit curlier. Let's actually increase the amount of children. Display amount is 30. Let's make the render amount 30 as well. And we'll make the amplitude a little bit higher. And just makes it slightly messier of a hairstyle. Thinking here humidity and like all sorts of things playing into this just to give it. Okay, and now She's currently a brunette. We'll make her a blonde. So we'll go back into our human gen settings here. I think we can actually adjust that here under the hair. Let's do hair. Lightness, is that, and then less red. Wait, accurate, I guess? I don't know. This is... Well, they got like some interesting settings here. Actually, I don't know that I've ever really messed around with this all that much. So, this is hue. Gonna have to mess around with this a bit. We'll have the roots be a different color as well. An easy thing to do, instead of trying to screw with their settings, we can literally just go in here and click new and call this blonde hair, and then change this to principled hair BSDF, and then under direct coloring, let's use melanin here. We could view this under our preview settings and then adjust the amount of melanin that we want to see. This won't give us the roots effect that we had, but that's fine. So we'll select baby hair. What is this? Strands, eyebrows. All right, bun filler, and then let's go to our render, and then under hair we can call this blonde hair is what we're looking for. And then we could select the same with our bangs, blonde hair. And then we select the same thing for our single blonde hair. And our flyaways, blonde hair. I don't know why they call it baby hair, but we're going to select that as well. And blonde hair. And that should be everything. Our strands thin. A lot of different hair particles here. Strands. And then base is as well. Now, what we can also do now in our shader over here, we can actually increase the roughness on it and decrease the melanin. Don't quite want it to be that blonde. Melanin redness. Let's bring that down and increase the coat a little bit, to give it a bit more of a dampy feel. Random color we can increase as well. And our random roughness we can increase. Actually, can I go above our random color? Yeah, we can. So let's do that. And then our roughness itself, okay. Pretty good. I think actually here's the other thing I noticed is all of these hairs are pretty thick. We might want to adjust that potentially, but let's see. Something a little more like that. I think that can work. And our random color, if we really boosted that. Okay. For me, I'm gonna hit the save button on that. And for her, we can actually select the same clothing that we had on him, because they're wearing fairly similar things, just slightly different colors. So let's finish the creation phase. Make everything a lot easier if we just didn't have them wearing any clothes anyways, right? Let's go to clothing, and we're gonna select the same preset in here for her. We don't. You've got to be joking me. Well now, guys, we should fix that. This Frosty Evening would be like the closest, but I really don't like that jacket. But I guess it's fine because we're going to be adjusting everything anyways. Just want me a cozy looking jacket. I'm going to view the children as we're working on this. Oh yeah, and I guess for footwear, we will select, alright, I know this says pirate boots, but I feel like these look like the same kind of shoes pretty much every girl has, so we're gonna go with that. Okay, I didn't make it that puffy this time, which is awesome. Let's go ahead and set the pose up. Just scaling her down slightly, honestly. Let's select this camera now. I'm going to just kind of, just for reference sake, set them very similarly to the photo. I think actually, one second, I do want to see. Which is this nice, like, half walking pose, which is pretty cool. What are we doing here? What is going on? Why is this rig so weird? Do I need to like manually pose it like this? I can. Jeez. So much for IK rigs working just for you, you know? Get this side view here. We'll just holy crap. We'll just straighten that out a little bit. Not a huge fan of this rig, guys. What does that look like in scene? I don't want to have feet clipping through the floor. Okay. Works for me. I want her leaning a little forward. Oh, not like that. About the only part of the IK rig that actually works here. Okay. Let's find this other side. I'm going to also, why is it? Let's go to human gen on this real quick. Enable that. I think the thing is she just looks like she's about to grab him or something. Like in a non-good way. I get that, how that like might almost be what you want, but not this. Why do I have the ability to move her boob? What is that? What why? Why is that on this rig? I know, I gotta stop asking questions I don't want to know the answer to. Let's bring the shoulders down a little bit. I actually have to fix that now. I'm gonna bring that out. Looks so stiff, jeez. Kind of just like resting her arm, right? Look like you're standing so straight, like Jesus. Maybe not bending so much. I think that might have been a bad idea. Let's do... I gotta figure this out. She just looks so threatening right now. I don't know why. What's going on here? If we make her a little smaller, maybe she'll look a little less threatening. How are we looking here? Let's I think also the hand positions also just make it look super, just looks very creepy, guys. Just looks super creepy. Let's fix that. Just kind of bringing this down to give it more of that like cozy jacket, oversized jacket type of feel, you know? Just kind of, you know, stretching it out a little bit. But she got like a decently oversized jacket though on everything. think we could smooth out the back here as well. Not as concerned about the other side. Let's get the fingers kind of fixed on this as well. Kind of fix everything here. And the angle's all off. Okay. Fix this finger as well. And finally this finger. Gotta fix this. Oh jeez. Okay, like that. And finally the last pinky finger. Should be pretty nice actually. Just kind of like, you know, soft to her side. I think we'll bring up the jacket a little bit now. Reveal some of our fine work we did on the finger. That's good. Might want to fix that on that side as well. Just so that way we're not clipping anything. Alright, save button. Okay. Not hating it. See what we got here. Have to fix those boots down there. They're clipping. He looks like he's in a ready stance, so we might have to fix that. And it's mostly just kind of like the hands as well, because the hands are just like so open. Yeah, he looks like he's in a position. I think kind of just make it look a little more, not like it's just like he's to his side. And also I think his fingers also need to be closed. We can fix that. Gonna have to... It's pretty nice, actually. Like a half-closed hand, basically. Okay, that's pretty good. I like that. Kind of just like referring over to this image as well, just to see what it looks like in grayscale. You know, just kind of making sure I'm not. I think that's clipping a little bit there. Okay, and then I do have to work on the clipping on the kind of like these boots here. So we can fix that. Let's go into sculpt mode. Now that everything is kind of more in like a set position, I'm probably not going to move it terribly too much. Just bring in the pants, tuck them in the boots. Kind of same for over here. Bring in the pants, tuck in the boots. Not gonna lie though, even if I did have that plugin to like kind of make my own clothing and stuff like that, there's no way we're gonna be able to get all that done in like one day for a live stream. Like, you'd have to have multiple streams. Okay, I'm ready to start doing some shading, I think. The one thing, number one thing AI still cannot is fingers. Yeah. Pretty much. Every time you see fingers and anything, although it has gotten pretty good. If you've looked at like some of the stuff they've done lately, it's pretty remarkable. Midjourney is like way further than like I would have imagined. Alright, I think for our roof, let's select specifically the roof. I'm just gonna make it its own object because I do want this to be smooth, whereas I don't want the rest to be smooth. So what we're gonna do there. And then secondly, I think if we select just these edges here, let's extrude, scale via X. Extrude down like that. Extrude X or scale via X inwards. I think that's good. Let's I just select specifically this and make it its own thing. And we will shade it flat. Okay, I'm gonna clean this up a little bit, put this under the Lee collection, and we're done with the human gen stuff. Like, you know, primarily, we could start getting into shading the rest of the scene here and getting the lighting to work. Shade that smooth. That should work pretty great. Okay. Only thing we need to do is for our world settings, I'm actually going to remove anything and change it from environmental texture to remove, and then we'll make it completely black. And now it should be pitch black everywhere. Perfect. This now will allow us to be able to do all the lighting manually. ourselves. So I'm going to create a new one called a new material called light. Let's swap this over to render view now. And I'm gonna swap this to shader editor. We'll change this to emission. And this will give us some lights to work with inside of our scene. It's gonna have to be much brighter, I think. Yeah. I think that works. It's just not the right color. It's kind of like these ugly orangey looking lights. And then let's call this light base. Ooh, Goose Goose Duck, let's go. I will probably be on later tonight, hopefully before you're off, so hoping to finish this up in the next 30 minutes or so, I think. We're gonna select specifically just the rim on this, which I guess where is it? Oh, Alt-H. There we go. I'm going to select specifically the rim, and I'm going to assign this new light base here. And if we grab this down, I'm just going to move it down and select the very top vertex group, and we're just going to move it all the way up so that way it goes through the ceiling. This will allow us to basically have our rim on there. We're gonna add some materials to it as well. Okay, let's do concrete. Okay, so we're gonna find ourselves some materials on Polyhaven. So polyhaven.com, textures, and let's do maybe kind of concrete. If I can find some. Plaster concrete. Worn. You know what? It's like, I think actually I could probably take this and then customize it to my desire. So let's potentially do that. Yeah, this will be fine. This is just gonna be a base of the texture, and then I can customize everything else. So I'm just gonna drop that in here. Let's see what else we're looking for. Something for the ground. It's more of like a, yeah, it's more of like this texture. Save that. Some tiling, if I can find some. Go to all. I almost want to search tile. What do we got? It's more like this, if anything. Maybe it's not, maybe tile would be the wrong word. It's like, it's not white, it's not brick, it's... I don't know technically what that would be called. Is that tile? Wall? trying to see. It's like a bathroom tile. For like, you know, the ones you get inside of like a bathroom. I do think that maybe it would be located under brick. You can always take one of these and then customize it. So like this floor pavement one is like pretty close, but it's just too rough. So like I can make it however I want it to be. Let's actually select our wall here. Create a new material. We'll call this ground, and then we're going to create another material, and we'll call this wall. And if I select, press 3, select these two walls, hit assign. That'll allow us to customize this. So I'm going to open up our textures now. Concrete floor. It's not concrete floor, it is floor pavement. We're going to use this texture, but as I said, we're going to change the roughness. So we may not even use this roughness here. I'll plug it in for right now, and we can make our decision later on that. Do want to use the displacement though, so plug that in, and then for right now we will use the normals, although, you know, normal map should be good. With this selected, let's add in our mapping textures, and we can plug this into our other texture images as well. And we're gonna have to UV unwrap this ourselves. So I'm just gonna use Smart UV Unwrap for our purposes. And under our scaling, if we add in a math node, this will allow us to adjust it fairly simply just by dragging that knob. May have gone too much though, so. I think it's being stretched widthwise, so 6.3 will be good for the x-axis, I think. And then this may need to be like 20 or something. I'm going to go to solid view here, and then with our human gen, I'm going to disable them for right now. We'll go to material view. This will allow us to be able to adjust all of our materials much faster. Oh, did I seriously already do it correct? Oh, I already made it square. Imagine that, guys. I did this first freaking try. Let's go. Okay. Okay. So 6.3, 20, and 1. That's fine. I'm probably going to want to adjust, though, if we add in our UV editor. Now that I've got the stretching to be correct here. Although I could have done it either way. I'm kind of doing this all backwards at this point. Let's select everything here, and I'm going to turn that off just so I can see kind of what I'm doing. I'm going to select everything. We're going to scale it down so that way I can get the squares to be a little bit larger. I think that will work fine for me. For our, you can go out of edit mode on this now. Let's just add in some curves. We're just gonna look at this directly. I do want this to be a little contrastier, so it may just boost the color a little bit. And then it should be nice. For our roughness though, it's making everything super white, and I do want it to be like much more like slick. So actually invert everything here. This is how I want it. I don't think that's correct. So kind of inverting everything here. That's closer to what I want. And actually, after that, sorry, after that, can I just invert? No, I can't. That's gonna give me that kind of like slickier, like bathroom feel that you're gonna get. That it's very grungy. Now, ultimately, though, in this, if we're looking at this now, I'm going to compare this to the other image that we have here. I almost want it to have more of like a... It's very repetitive right now, all the way down. We can fix that by adding in a noise texture as well. So let's go ahead and do that. What I'm going to do is we're going to add in a Musgrave. If we just view that by Control-Shift, this actually might be fine just as default settings, because we just want like certain parts of it to be like matted dirty, and that's what we're getting here. So I'm gonna actually move this entire thing over here. This if I view now my regular texture and I select everything, I can even box remove select that guy. And I also want to just select this as well, just because it'll make everything easier. If I add in a mix shader node and plug the FAC into the Musgrave, I can plug the principled BSDF in, as well as this other principled BSDF that we just duplicated. And now viewing that, we're going to see initially nothing's going to happen. But if I take this and remove the amount, the RGB curves that we did it to it, so it's making everything super rough. Actually not going to do that one on this one, but we're going to do it on the bottom texture that we selected here. It'll make certain parts of the image not as reflective. And furthermore, actually we're going to do that right here. If I delete this guy and then I change this to a darker color, we're going to kind of see our effect start to come in. Again, it's using the white values here and the black values to basically determine what is the different part of the image. So also with our roughness, we're just going to remove that and make that 100% rough. This will help break up the tiles, so that way we're not seeing the same kind of effect throughout. So you'll notice now everything's really dark here and light here. If I swap these shader inputs, and if I put this here, it'll make this specific area darker on the thing. Now I might want to actually adjust the scaling of this to be a little bit higher, or more so that way I'm getting more of the area affected by this, and that'll allow me to have a better shape. This is really, you can customize this as much as you want to try to get that more realistic feel. I have found that this will work pretty nicely there. I'm actually going to select my image and just take the saturation down a little bit on it. I just think it's a tad much on the yellow. Although, you know what? Maybe not. I might have been wrong on that. Because I guess the whole image itself is pretty yellow on our reference. But, okay, great. So with our wall done, let's go ahead and select our ground, and then we're going to unzip our textures for that and start working on that now. So, again, go back to textures. We're going to use the concrete floor worn for this one. Let's extract that. Yes, this should be... Oh no, this is for the ceiling. So yeah, let's go ahead and do the ceiling next. We'll select our ceiling up here. We'll just add ceiling in. And if I drop in our diffusion, we can also do our displacement and our roughness and our normals. Just going to connect those in. Our roughness and then our normals. I'm going to, we're going to have to projection map this as well because it's currently incorrect, but we'll do that momentarily. So normal map, and I'll add this in, although we will be adjusting it after. Okay, so I'm just going to select everything and then say Smart UV Project. That should give me it over here, so that's good. If I just scale everything up, honestly. Could be good. The one thing I really liked about this is all of the cracks that are in here, so we can actually make those cracks ourselves. So we're gonna do that. I'm going to select this diffusion though first, and then I'm just going to customize how bright it is, because right now it is a pretty bright. Let's just darken or increase the contrast of the texture that we've got going on here. And then I'm going to add in another math node now directly into the scale. If I just do 0 plus this value, this will allow me to scale everything proportionally to how I want it to be. I think that should be fine. I'm just going to plug this into all of our vectors on our images, as well down here into our displacement. Now if I view this, we're going to need to make some of the stuff pop. First of all, I think it's a little bit rough. Again, we're going for like this kind of like humid, you know, feel. So I'm gonna plug that into here and into the roughness, and should be able to get, well, that's right, I gotta invert these colors here. Perfect. Now when I view this, it's gonna have like this very wet kind of like ceiling. May want to adjust our matte so that way it's not quite as wet. Perfect. And actually, I'm going to just make some room here because I do want to have it more patchy. So again, we'll just add a Musgrave into this. If we view this Musgrave, scale this to something like, actually I really like the way that comes across the ceiling. If I go view our RGB curves here, I'm going to add in a mix node, just a regular mix node, not a mix shader. We're gonna swap between a color. If I plug the FAC into the Musgrave output of the height, and I set this to like black, let's set this to black, and then plug this into here. This will now give me kind of like more of a wet area on specifically this spot, as well as giving us those free textures that we're using as well. What I could also do is I can take my curves and I can plug the color into this section here. And if we just view this right here, I'm going to increase the contrast on this. Something crazy like this. This will keep some of the like lines in there and stuff is ultimately our goal. So just gonna kind of play with this a little bit to try to keep the detail as much as possible. Okay, great, that should work. And then I'll just plug that into the black value instead of it just being pure black. So now, when we're looking at this, we will get some lines, which I'm not sure how well you guys can see that, but there are some lines just built into the image here as well as here, so that way it's giving this kind of like a weathered feel even to some of the splotches. And that's all being plugged into our roughness. So that way, when we do view this, it'll kind of make it so we have some more randomness to the roughness as well. One thing that I want to watch out for is kind of how wet everything is at this point. So I'm kind of just lighten everything off a bit. Oh, that's the other thing we need to do. So that's right, I didn't select that. So here, let's bring this mix node and then now replace the roughness that we have in here. And this will add that texture that we created directly into our effect. Might want to actually invert that. Oh no, that's fine. Let's look at the let's look at what this output of this height is. The only thing I might actually want to do is take RGB curves to, is it this section? Is it this the bright? No, that's the dark one. Okay, I'm going to take this to this section here. Oh no. Okay, it is definitely the other one. So we'll add it to the B. And we're just going to increase the brightness quite a bit. Now, should be a lot more rough in those specific sections, which is good. The only other thing I might want to do is under our Musgrave texture, I'm going to adjust the scale slightly. That might be fine. Okay, I like that. That feels a lot more natural now. Now what I kind of want to do is add in some cracks to the ceiling as well. So I'm going to add in a Musgrave, and I'm going to take a math node, and I'm going to take it and say divide. Why divide it by itself? Can I do that? Let's try, 1 second, I gotta mess around with this a little bit. So if we take this value and divide it by this value. Oh, you know what it is? I don't need to divide. I might want to do like a subtraction. Also, you kind of want to get rid of the mutes, I think. Or the inverts. I know I had seen, there was a way once that I saw how to do this, and it was like to basically want to create lines in random locations. And I know there is a way to do it. Almost curious though if we ended up just, since we're using a projection map. Oh, no. We can't do that. Okay, so we will have to do something like this, I think. Let's do, might actually not be a bad idea to do this. If I take the entire texture, what does the roof look like on this? Oh, that's fine with me. Okay, what we're gonna do now is I'm going to, let's view the properties on this real quick. This is a 4096 by 4096 image. So if I create a new image, say new cracks, and we're going to create it 4096 by 4096. And we're not going to set it to alpha, we're just going to set it to black. Let's click OK. Now, if I go over to texture paint, and actually, we're also going to load that image in here. Let's load cracks and view it. And now, if inside of texture paint, we are going to go to our tools. We've got white selected. Just create like a really small image. Okay, perfect. This theoretically could work. I may have just screwed that up by like painting a bunch. But you can see how it's now painting on right there. I need to remove displacement. And oh, I see. Okay, so it is working. Let's go ahead and paint some cracks. If you do that like this, you may actually want to go out of camera view. That way our results are consistent, so the cracks are all like the same size. Because otherwise it's going to project it along the edges. And we can do that via like this. I could change this over to texture, actually paint on this side right here. I think it's like an image editor, or I don't want to have to do that. Let's keep this over here inside of render view. And I'm just gonna paint this accordingly. Keep it in material view, it'll actually probably load faster. Okay, that's fine for me. Let's use that. If we go to our principled BSDF now, and we're going to go out of that view, let's save that, go to render view. Now, this cracks that we just used by painting, we can actually use as a matte instead of using noise. So I'm going to create a new principled BSDF right here. And it's going to be a brand new principled BSDF that is just going to be like really dark, like almost black. And for our roughness, we can plug in, let's say, like a noise texture. And we can actually view that noise texture to see, you know, what scale it needs to be set to. So actually I'm going to increase the noise to something like this. And we'll plug that directly into roughness. So now if we viewed that texture itself, maybe made the specularity further down. Let's take the emission is black and we increase the emission value itself. Actually, no, we won't want to do that. Let's also take, it's almost completely black like that. If we now have our cracks and our principled BSDF, we can use a mix shader node and plug that directly into our new map we created, fact, and plug the BSDF in through there, and our principled BSDF. And if we view that now, we will have these cracks. Now, I have to invert the shader, and that gives us some free cracks that go on our ceiling. Pretty easy, actually. Of course, you can actually do this in Photoshop as well. Create all of your mats in Photoshop. It'll give you some more tools. The only thing, if we go over here to image editor instead of UV editor, I'm going to just increase the size of this as well. I'm inside of image editor now. We can use some different tools while we're working on this image. Let's select it real quick. I'm going to go to paint tools here. I'm going to soften. I'm going to like overall soften pretty much everything. You could also do this by like blurring it if you like took it into Photoshop or something like that. I'm just kind of like overall softening things, just so that way it doesn't have such a sharp edge to them. That should work great. Let's get out of texture paint mode. We're back into object mode. We'll hit the save button on that. Now those cracks are looking amazing in the roof tiles. We can actually do the same thing for the side walls if we really wanted to. You know, I'm not really seeing a reason to do that necessarily. So we might be fine with avoiding that. Let's go ahead and just see what we're working with here. Okay, now the only other thing we can do with the roof to kind of break it up as well is add some kind of a different shader into it as well. So let's do that. I'm gonna duplicate this, and then this time we're gonna take our curves. Plug that into this RGB curves. And all of this is going to happen before the cracks, because the cracks have to happen after it. So we're going to use another mix shader here and plug this guy into here. And then we'll plug this guy into here. And for our new RGB curves that we have down here, I'm just going to kind of like bring overall brightness down on it. You know, what another thing that we could do with it is even desaturate it. Kind of do something like that. And now inside of this mix shader that we have here, let's just view what we've got going on. It's currently just mixing it to kind of together, so we can use another Musgrave. I like Musgraves because they kind of give this like almost like a wipe effect that's happening to it. And if we view this, let's actually adjust the scaling of that. And now should get a bit of a breakup that's happening. I think we may need to boost the curves on this, which we can do. That's going to give us some like different like effects that are happening on there. The only thing I might want to do is adjust the scaling of it, so that way it takes up more of the ceiling. Let's move the dimension of it. That's better. And luminosity. Increase the detail as well. That'll give us some free like lines and dirt and grime that's being added onto it. I think that's gonna really help as well. Hit the save button on that. Great. The only thing we can really do here is add in our displacement map. And I'm just gonna increase the strength of this to like 5. And that's looking pretty nice. That's looking pretty nice indeed. That kind of like wraps up the ceiling, I think. Let's hit the save button there. We're just going to move on to the floor, our last bit here. So we're going to add a new... Oh, well, we already have a new shader on this, so... I already have the textures, so let's go over and grab them. Is it floor pavement? Is that what... No. I don't have plastered stone wall unzipped yet, so let's do that. It's probably that one. Alright, the diffusion, the displacement, the normals, and the roughness. Let's plug all these guys in so that way we can get that going. And then finally into the displacement. I think we're already unzipped. Yeah, we pretty much are. Not really. So we're just going to select everything and just say Smart UV Unwrap. Edit mode, select everything. Smart UV Unwrap. What are we working with here? Oh, I see. Okay. This and this technically aren't in the original photo, so we're gonna have to create kind of like a trim sign. And it's going to be different than this down here. Yeah, okay, great. Let's select the ground now that we have it, and let's add in a vector mapping node, which we do right here, and then plug those into all of our components. For our displacement, though, let's add in a... Sorry, why am I typing vector? Let's add in our normal map. That actually goes over here. And then our displacement map. Right here. For this guy, let's add in a math node. And we'll plug that into our scale. And increase the value till we get a number that works for us. And if we just view this, so make it render a little bit faster, I think that works. And you know, it is pretty uniform, so I'm not too worried about that. Let's add in a curves to the displacement and bring the overall tonality and brightness down. Something like that might work. I may want to actually add in a bit of a hue to it, just to make it a little more blue. I don't think I like that at all, so we're probably just going to remove it. Oh, whoops. I don't want to do that, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Let's shade smooth it. Get that walkway kind of completed there. Let's, just to make it complicated on ourselves, let's, actually, we're probably going to want to make this wet anyways. Don't we? Because we like everything to just be grimy and disgusting in our renders. Something like that. For our curves. Ooh, no. It's very much wet in there. Let's do that, and then the only other thing is I might want to do a light. Let's just do an area light. Where is that at, actually? We have to adjust that over here. Oh, here it is. Okay. Let's do this, and then I'm going to scale this by Y, just so it goes like really far. And then our light that we have, it's the thing that's making everything like really brown. Honestly, you may want to adjust that slightly. Increase the emission on it as well. Somewhere around there, and then also just make it a little more orangey. Okay. Not bad, not bad. A little too bright. Might just go back to the 13, which is where it was at. Let's step it up just to see kind of what we're wanting here. Okay. So with our people in, we're gonna want to have some custom lighting for that. Let's also set our focus a little bit better here. Let's do, we want an empty, let's add that. We're gonna call this empty focus, and I always like to put it inside of my collection with my camera so that way, you know, I know where it's at. I'm gonna select the camera now and then set the kind of the depth of field to it. Set it to like 1.2, even 0.3. Let's just make it crazy. Oh, and we have to set this to focus. That's right. And let's go like 0.6. And then for our lighting now, we can mess around a little bit with just adding in like specific lighting to light them. So area light. Let's go over here and we can actually adjust this inside of our 3D part. You want to scale that down also. Set that to yellow. And of course, we're gonna fix a crap ton in comp because I do not like the way this looks. Actually, I don't like the way any of the ground looks, so we're gonna have to edit all that crap. So that's good there. Let's adjust the angle a little bit. I want it to be more backlit than front lit. So we'll do that. Increase the brightness on it. Maybe more of like a spotlight also. Just get it pointed directly at them. If we increase the wattage now though, that'll allow us to get more of a backlit kind of lighting setup on them. If I duplicate that now though, I'm just gonna try to will be good. I really don't like the color of his jacket, so let's fix that. I don't like the color of her jacket either. So again, I might actually go for more of like a pinky kind of feel to it. Go for darker pants on him as well. Where's that at? Maybe more blue. He's very blue today. Again, it's like, okay, there is this thing though. It's like, he looks so stiff. Let's edit that. He looks very stiff. It's just not working. So if we kind of just make his arms look a little forward. There's this one bone. Let's just grab his whole hand and then kind of bring it up a little bit, maybe. And then his foot is definitely planted in the ground right now, so if we just adjust that slightly. I'm going to also kind of like light direct this a little bit better. I'm gonna add in, here's a cool thing you can do in Blender. If you ever have like lights that you don't necessarily want to, or parts of your image that, like down here for instance, is too bright, you can actually go in here and then say negative, let's say like 100 or something like that, and it like brings the light crazy down. We obviously don't need to do negative 100, but if we do something like negative 1 and then like scale down the light, kind of just very much focus it on exactly what we want to remove, we can actually just get that to be much darker. This is an easy way to like kind of like art direct your lighting a little bit better. I'm gonna scale this completely wide as well, and then just do like a negative 5. It just gives like this very ugly greeny effect also. That might be something that you want to watch out for. Kind of suck out probably a good amount of that. Just kind of silhouette their legs a little bit better. Maybe increase the fall off on it as well. We could do that by the spread, and also just decrease the spread. This will give like a sharper edge on it. So it's probably a little bit better. Probably gonna fix a lot of this in comp anyways, so that's why I'm not too worried. But let's just, for one more thing, let's go in. We're going to add in a, on the shader editor, I'm going to do one last Musgrave texture to kind of break up this ground a little bit. We just adjust the scale on it. Let's do something like this, where it's like half the walkway. If we look at that, let's back out of everything here, kind of just organize our textures down here a little bit better. If I take everything now and I duplicate it upwards, we're going to add in a mix shader and plug in the principled BSDF that's plugged in there, and this one up here. And now, using our Musgrave that we generated, put that into the fact and plug that in. I'm not going to see anything happen initially, but we can then go in and add another RGB curves and just kind of make this whole part of the image darker. And then also for the roughness on it, let's see what we got going on here. I'm going to make this part much like a more wet type of feeling to it. So now if we go view just specifically that, perfect. And now view this mix shader, plug that in. We're going to want to invert our setups so that way it's like very much on the outside here. Let's go view our Musgrave that we're using here. I'm going to increase the detail though. And we will also adjust the scaling to be very much just on the wall. Kind of like that. What does this do for us? I think just set that back to 2, I think. And then dimensions. Okay. That should work for us. Now if we just view our mix shader, the edges will be different than the rest. I think that's really nice. Another thing we can kind of do is we can go in and then add in a regular noise texture. And if we increase the scale on this to be something really large, we're going to get this like so. Should work great. Let's go in and then we're gonna say mix shader again. Plug in our initial mix shader. And we're gonna create a new principled BSDF shader right here. And this is just gonna be black. We're just adding in like little specks of dirt. So if we plug that into our FAC and this into the top of that mix shader, we may need to invert this. I don't know. I don't think I'm... Yeah, I think I'm fine without that being in there. Get rid of all of that. And then we can adjust a lot of this stuff in comp. I think one more thing I might want to do, if we open this back up to our image editor, let's create a new image. So not this one here. We're going to say image new. We're going to just call this... Are there cracks on the ground on this? There are. So we're going to call this cracks 2. And let's click OK. And now, if we go over to our here, we could say image texture. We'll just view this image texture. Let's set this to cracks 2. And if I go over to texture paint now, just make this much smaller. And again, we're going to go to material view, which I probably should have saved before I did that. We will hit the save button now. Now may be too late. Hopefully not. I knew it was going to happen. I called it. I called it. I called it. This is the first crash of the day, guys. This is actually not bad. We're almost done, and it's the first crash. All good, though. We're going to go hit recover. And then last session, well, actually maybe not last session, say recover, autosave, and 1958, so 2 minutes ago, okay. Not great, but also not terrible. Hit the save button. Let's see what we got. Here we're going to go into our image editor. We do not have Cracks 2 yet, so we're going to say new image, Cracks 2. Click OK. Perfect. Let's go. I may regret trying to do this in like 3 hours. Doing a scene with people. Who knows? This may turn out to look very CG, and that's going to be unfortunate. But I did say I was going for a Pixar-y look. I just got to make it look like Pixar. At the end of the day, that's all I got to do. See. All right, let's save this, and then we can start comping, and then I'm gonna render, let's do this, output, or whoops, output, and we're gonna call this temp version 1, hit the save button. And I'm going to start rendering out full res. It's rendering out 4096. Okay, so let's set that to full render. Nuke. Time to open up some Nuke and start compositing. And get this guy open. In a shuffle node, and we're going to view combined. So all right, let's do a couple things. First of all, I'm going to add in a Cryptomatte, and we're going to adjust specifically, let's see, what can we do. That's looking at objects. I'm going to look at materials. There we go. I want specifically the skin tones of them, because they're just coming off as very green. So if we just view that. Let's go in here. Let's adjust the white point on this. We're gonna kind of just try to remove as much of this yellow as possible and give it some more of the fleshy kind of like warm tones. Kind of overall, actually, we might want to adjust. Oh, we could do this with Cryptomats. I'm not gonna do this. Yeah, we're gonna do this with Cryptomats on each individual part because I don't want to. It could get just like into a messy hubbub. This is the reason why I've got different separate shaders for everything. So materials. Now I'm just gonna select specifically the wall. Go back over here. Maybe make this slightly less yellow. Kind of a little more reddish, and then it'll feel almost more romantic in a way, because if it's like yellow green, that does feel more like horror vibes, you know. I want to avoid that as much as possible. That is not what we're going for here, okay. Just gonna overall add in like kind of a glowy haze to everything. I know that one of the things I like to do is we'll just adjust the size here, make it pretty large. Adjust the tolerance though to be something a little bit less. Actually bring this down as well. I don't want too much. I think the neck crack right there. I don't want those chromatic aberrations that we're kind of getting in up here. Let's try to avoid that. Adjusting the tint now. We can actually make this whatever color we want it to be. Kind of give it that like nice warmy fall off. Not a huge fan. I think overall that actually works pretty well. Just the tolerance. Kind of like let it happen, but not too much so. I think if we make everything a bit richer, if we just add in some saturation now. While at the same time bringing his shirt down, I think. Again, we're just going to swap this to material. Glad I selected both this time. Normally I don't, so. Just going to add Cryptomat into that, and finally just bring down his shirt. Actually might even adjust the saturation slightly on it. What a weird, oh right, okay. Not really the vibe we're going for. Okay. I'm gonna actually save this right now while we're working on this. The render's almost done also, so try to get that wrapped up. Oh, 15th of September, that's right. Scripts. 15th September 2023. We'll call you comp version 1. I'm gonna also add in some green. Let's do a dot, I think is what everything's gonna be selected to. And this should be a reformat node to a scale of 4, which will give it the final output. Should have been doing that before because now my sizes of my glows and everything are off. It's funny though, okay, so like I think, let's just move that all down. That's an overall. I'm gonna do a grade. Let's add a Cryptomatte. And then plug that Cryptomatte in. Let's just swap that to material. Let's just bring this down. Something like that. Alright, we'll save. That's super grungy. I'm hoping it's not like that in the final render, but oh, I gotta save my image. Hit save as. And then we'll call this renderer version 1. Swap back over to our Nuke comp here. We'll hit refresh and select our render. And voila. It's gonna be closer to that. Although I don't think it should go down that much, but I do think it should go down. So let's actually add in another grade node here. Just another Cryptomatte. Do clear and then do that. Just slightly, not that much. Actually, I almost think that you should use a color correct as well and then kind of boost the contrast. And take the highlights and then just blow those. Actually think the highlights should get blown first and then everything gets brought down. Yeah, it feels more uniform. I like that. I think the other thing I might want to do is say merge node and let's add a roto in. If I select that. What do we get with this? I think that works. Okay, that works for me. And then actually, it's funny, I can probably use a merge node of this and say invert this guy. Now it's only going to be selected on that. And I'm going to plug that in there. And we can affect just this section, which I do actually want to bring down as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and save that. Again, there, everything is pretty bright. I actually might want to lift them just slightly. You know, we have their skin shader as well. So if I find that, let's do this guy. Let's select. Do that, and then also take out the saturation a little bit of the redness. We could do that by adding a saturation node and only affecting the red channel. There's a lot of red in there. Okay, great. I like it a little bit. There are things I'm not a fan of, so we can try to get rid of those. So let's just take a grade node. Said I was going to do this, so I'm going to do it. Edge blur that 300, maybe more. And that's fine. We'll take that and then bring that down. I think also there are certain things that I kind of want to do. I don't like the way Blender blurs things, so I may want to just kind of do this myself. If we do it with bokeh and then have how do you set the actual, let's see, optics, lenses, that's fine. Optical, there's a way to change, did I miss it? Lens blur and filter shape. Was 1Z, real, linear, quadratic, linear, matte, GBA lens, kernel, aperture blades. I think that's what I want. And then What am I doing wrong here, guys? I've done this like 20 times. I've done this way more than 20 freaking times. I've done this a lot. What is the... Defocused image, kernel. I set this to aperture blades. Circular's freaking fine. I don't really care. It's the... These things are blooming. Now if I do the back, real, linear, quadratic. There's a way to change this setting and I can't remember for the life of me where it is. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, aspect ratio set to 1. My problem is that my softness is so high. So if I set softness to 0 or blade count 6 is fine. Curvature. Okay. I don't understand why it's soft, so soft. Okay, that should be fine for what I want it to do. What I need now is we're gonna use like a depth pass almost, I think. And actually, we could do this way. Cryptomats, plug that in. We're gonna say boom, 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 and boom. It's gonna give us the alpha of that. And we'll create a fake depth pass as well. So I'm going to say merge node, this, and this. Oh, this needs to get plugged into shuffle. There we go. Okay, great. And then now we fake our depth pass because I didn't grip one, which we'll just do by pressing O and plug that into our shuffle node. And we'll grab a merge node as well. And honestly, it's as simple as this. Follow the walls all the way around like that. And I'm gonna hit edge blur on this, set that to like 300. And this will give us, after we pre-multiply this, and actually if we invert that now, perfect. Okay. Now this plus this. And perfect. Okay, awesome. And the point is now we have these guys and a fake freaking mask that we could throw back there. We're gonna take all of this, and at this point, all this grading that's happening here, I want to use this as an alpha mask later. So let's take a merge node here. We're going to have the bokeh version and then the non-bokeh version. And we're going to use this as an alpha channel, basically, to determine what that is. So now if we view that and do that, perfect. This will allow us to edit everything a little bit better. So let's do this, set this to 600. And that should work. Our bokeh is just a bit high, so we can adjust our bokeh now. Don't know that I'm a fan of that. I think I don't like it. I was thinking I was going to like it better than I do, so that's a no for me. I mean, we already have depth of field already in it, and honestly, the best way would have been to have them not rendered in the shot, because then we wouldn't have to worry about that. Okay. Okay, I think not really pleased with the results, guys. Not really pleased with the results this time. We may visit this next week if we want to do some touch-ups on it. Not sure that I like this as the results this time. That's okay. I'm going to bring this down as well. Wanted to give it a shot. I liked the photo, but not sure. May have needed her to be positioned a little bit more towards the camera so we could see a little bit more of her face, I think. Everything is just so contrasty right now too because of how dark I made everything, so might be part of it. Let's try this. Let's bring that back up. Our vignette that we have here, let's kind of not make that quite as dark. I like that. I like that. Fine with all of that. Did I adjust his pants? I feel like I did adjust his pants. Where did I adjust his pants at? That's a shirt. I didn't adjust his pants. I thought I did. No, I didn't. They've always been that dark. I may have adjusted it before I rendered it. Well, I think that's the photo, guys. I think that's the photo for this stream. I think next time we're gonna try. I have a there was between this photo and there was a another cool graveyard scene that I kind of wanted to do. So next week we may tackle the graveyard scene. It's pretty creepy, and I think what is next week actually? Are we in October yet? No, we got like 2 more weeks of September before then. But I do want to try to do some more spooky stuff for the holiday season. This wasn't supposed to be spooky. I just thought this was like a really cool looking photo. But